Hey guys, it's Lauren. Thank you for joining me again here today. For this video, I'm gonna be doing a get ready with me of this face right here. This has been pretty much my go-to current daily makeup lately. I've been into this very like luminous, soft focused skin with a bit of something shimmer on the eye. This is the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal top coat mixed in with some other shadows. But yeah, I've just been really into this shimmery eye. I've been basically living in this eyeshadow day and night. So yeah, if you want to see my process of doing this, then just keep watching. Now I've already done my skincare, SPF, all of that, moisturizer, so I'm gonna grab my primer. I have been using lately the Milk Makeup Blur Stick. This was actually sent to me by that influencer app. Yeah, so I've been testing this guy out. It's not like the newest product, but I've been enjoying it. It does a pretty decent job of priming the skin, and it has sort of like a perfecting sort of quality it does on the face. The other kinds of these that I have used in the past, I found them to like kind of pill, and this doesn't do that. So yeah, it's easy. For foundation, I'm gonna be using the Milk Makeup Blur Liquid Matte Foundation, kind of doubling up on the Milk Makeup. I reviewed this guy a while back, but I've gotten more into it now that it's gotten colder weather. I find that it's really important to give this thing a good shake because it kind of separates, and as you like squeeze it out onto the back of your hand, it's like almost like a little pool of water comes out. It's like separating from the foundation pigment. So yeah, even with giving it a good shake, it still kind of did that, which is kind of weird, but I don't find that that has like affected the formula in any way. It's not like it's like made it get weird or anything. So I have a pretty decent amount on the back of my hand. This should be enough for my entire face. This thing is pretty full coverage, and yeah, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just taking a small pointed foundation brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna dot it all over my face. I like to place it with the foundation brush and kind of spread it out, and then take my fingers to really work it into the skin. I find that that works really well with the formula of this foundation. I'm gonna spot conceal with the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I have hit pan on this guy. I have hit the bottom, so that feels really good. It always, I don't know, there's something about like hitting pan or the bottom that feels very accomplished with a product. So I have a couple of spots on my face, so I picked up some of the product with my finger, and I'm just kind of dotting it around. I actually have a couple of dark spots on like the outer areas of my eyelids, so I'm actually gonna take a little bit of the concealer and kind of use it a little bit as a primer, but also just kind of smooth out, create a more even coloring on my eyes by using the concealer. I got this little mini Makeup Forever pressed powder in like, I don't know, some sort of Sephora sampler thing. So I'm gonna use this to set my eyes and my face. So for my brows, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in Chocolate. So I'm just gonna quickly fill them in, give them a little bit of something, and then giving them a little feathering with a Boy Brow in Clear. There's this newer brand, or at least they're newer to me, called Emile Cordon, and they make these cashmere lip pots. They're these nice little lip balms, and they were really sweet, and they sent me two of them. So they sent me the Cocoa and the Lisa. So this one smells like chocolate, which is really nice, and then this one smells like roses. So I'm more in the mood for roses, so I'm just gonna put some of this on my lips and let it sit and moisturize my lips while I do the rest of my makeup. But they're really pretty packaged, and you get a really hefty amount in here. I feel like these are gonna last forever. I rarely go through a lip balm unless it's like a Burt's Bees. Everything else is just like, I don't know, just it's like a forever companion because it's always around. So I've been doing a very similar eye look for a while now, but it's been with like different products. So one combination will be like the Maybelline Color Tattoo, the 100% Pure Satin Eyeshadow, and the Natasha Denona Shadow, or I'll use like the Natasha Denona Shadow and the Tartelette in Bloom palette. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the Tartelette in Bloom palette with the Natasha Denona today, but it's been like sort of these end up putting together and making a very similar look. So yeah, but I'm gonna do it with these guys. This palette I've had for ages and I loved it. I used it a bunch when I first got it, and it kind of, you know, made the way to the back of my makeup collection storage. And in the last little while I re-pulled it out because I don't know, I had an inkling to use this shadow. I feel like this is one of those palettes that actually has a really good mix of warm and cool tones, and I realized like most everything I own is like warm tones, and I wanted like more of like a dusty sort of browny gray that this has. This is just this is a great palette. As you can see, I have used it a ton. I've hit pan on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shadows. These two are just like the hint of pan, but yeah, it's a good little palette. Kind of fell by the wayside, as everything does these days, because it's all about the new, yeah, which I totally get sucked into, and I'm trying to be better about. Yeah, I feel like that's just sort of a state that happens in beauty and makeup, especially when you first get like more into it. It's just like stuff. And then you kind of, it's almost like you reach a super saturation, or it's like you finally get like full. It's like you don't know what is enough until you've had too much, and I've definitely had too much. So now I am, yeah, it's not that I'm not like buying stuff, it's just more, I feel like I'm being a little bit more curated and responsible, but I don't know, that might not be true at all. I'm trying to find the brush I want to use and I cannot seem to locate it. I do not know where it is gone. So I'm going to be using this BH Cosmetics sort of crease brush, and I'm going to start with this color right here called Jet Set. That's sort of really nice gray, taupey, brown, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just going to work it into my crease. On the same brush, I'm picking up the color Smarty Pants, a little bit more of just like a regular brownie taupe, and placing that on the lid all the way to the lash line. Just to add the tiny bit more of depth, I just very lightly tapped my brush into Leader. It's a kind of nice purpley red shade, and just very lightly blended that into my outer crease area as well. So I wet this angled eyeshadow brush from MAC, whatever it's called, and I dipped it into Leader as well, and I'm just gonna really lightly like smudge stamp it onto my lash line. So now for the really fun part, I'm gonna take the Natasha Denona Chroma Crystal Top Coat. I have the color Nude here, and just with my finger, I'm gonna pick up a healthy portion of the product, and I'm just gonna put this all over my eyelids. With that brush that I used to add a little bit of liner, I'm just gonna tap it into Leader again and just put a little bit on my lower lash line. For mascara, I'm going to be using the Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. This is pretty awesome. It does a really good job of adding length and some drama to the eyes, but it is one of the few mascaras that's like not clump city on me. I think maybe for some people that's like thickness and volume, but I don't know, for some reason it just like translates to clumps to me. So I like that this just like gives a nice, just like almost like a hair extension vibe to the eyelashes. So for the rest of the face, I'm gonna be mainly using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting palette. This is the one from this year. And then I'm also gonna use this CLE Melting Lip Powder as part of my blush. So I'm gonna start with this guy and I'm gonna bronze up my face. I've been like very minimal with the amount of brushes I've been using lately. Like I used to just like use a different one for every step, and lately I've just been like meh, just using the same one. So I'm gonna be using this Glossier brush. This like comes with the water, you buy it individually. I'm gonna use this for pretty much everything from this point out. So I'm gonna bronze up my face using the bronzer in this little palette. And now I'm gonna go ahead and use the highlighter, same brush, hitting the tap of my cheeks and then just sort of like draping it up over my eyebrow. Hitting the nose and right above the cupid's bow. Do the chin as well. So again, same brush, just gonna dot across the two different blushes. Need to like, because I got a little overzealous there while talking about the steps. I picked up way too much, and I'm just gonna dust this across the face. So I am actually gonna pick up a different brush. I lied, one more brush I'm gonna be using. So now I'm gonna take the CLE Melting Lip Powder, and I'm gonna take it and just sort of crush it on the back of my hand. These things are kind of messy because they are a powder, and like as you take it out, it just kind of like whooshes out, which can be a little bit dangerous because they're very pigmented. So I'm just gonna actually like really work it into the back of my hand so there's not like big chunks of the powder, because if I was to pick up a chunk of the powder with the brush that's like not sort of leveled out, it could create an abundance of pigment. So this is actually the little brush you get from Sephora from spending an excessive amount of money. It's a little VIP rouge brush, and it's actually a really great little brush. I've used it for foundation, but I've been really into using it for cream blushes, which although this is a powder, it basically turns into a cream. So I'm just picking this up on the back of my hand, and now I'm just gonna stipple it onto my cheeks. Usually if I ever wear like an orange blush or even a coral blush, it's something that I'll wear in the summertime, but I don't know, I've been really enjoying this sort of trend of like soft pinks and oranges that usually denote more during like the spring and summertime. I've been enjoying like seeing those pop up a lot lately. So I just sort of like, I like the little glow it adds. It's really healthy. Now with my blush, I do like to then like kind of drag it across the rest of my face. I just find that that adds a little bit more cohesiveness. So just like lightly across the temple, the nose, underneath here. Back to this brush again. I'm gonna mix it into the two finishing powders. I think I mentioned this before, but I just wish the layout of these was just like reversed, so I didn't have to pick up a little bit of the essence of the highlighter, or I could just like go across and pick up the two finishing powders together, but instead I have to do a little dance to pick them up. So for my lips, today I feel like using this sort of nice rusty nude from 100% Pure. This is the color Zinnia, and this is in their like pomegranate anti-aging lip range, so it's like kind of like a nice satin finish. This I find is really similar to Kat Von D's Cathedral. It's a really nice sort of rusty, browny, rosy nude, but it has more of a satin finish, which I have been really enjoying, especially with the sparkly eye combo. So this is the completed face of my current daily makeup. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please throw it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. That would be super neat. And yeah, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.